right, y'all. We are ready. 2025 Tea and Conversation live with my first guest, one of the originals in our community, Mr. Stanley Gray. I'm so happy to have him on, and we have a great conversation for you. Go ahead on and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Yes, I am your host, Candy Lowe, and thank you guys for jumping on. Go ahead on and tag a couple friends as well. How you doing, Stanley?
I'm doing well, and yourself? A belated Happy New Year to you.
Absolutely. Happy New Year's to you as well. I know you got to have a lot going on. We're going to get right on into it. And I know you have been talking to me for quite some time about Florida Solar for All, and have been giving me a lot of information about Florida Solar for All. And I know that we have a number of people that have been talking about in our community the increasing costs of the utility bills and wanting to give different resources for people that are interested in the community, and also trying to get more and more of our nonprofits involved as well. So give us a little bit about Florida Solar for All and how it works and how we can get people involved with it.
Well, the program basically has three categories. The one that I'm most interested in is individuals who are low income. And the low income is actually derived by your zip code. And individuals who fall within that program, the low income, their installation as well as the warranty for 25 to 30 years, they get these solar panels for nothing. There's no money at all that they have to pay. And with increasing, I mean, like if you look at the last 3 years, your utility bill has gone up at least 3%, at least 3%. So I can't understand if somebody is, again, we'd have to know your zip code, and then we could tell you whether you would qualify the 100%, why you wouldn't do it because you have nothing to lose. Another part of this program is for moderate income homes. And again, that's by zip code. And you get a 60% grant. So in other words, you would have to pay 40% of what the cost would be to install, provide a warranty, for these. And then also, individuals who have multifamily, there are 10% grants. And the company that owns this or that we're working through, they're actually going to assist you with getting a grant. And the company's called Tampa Bay Solar. And
Mhm.
let me tell you a little bit about the owner. The owner is an African American, uh, graduated from the Naval Academy, served as a Navy SEAL, retired as a Navy SEAL, and he started this company probably about 10, 15 years ago. So he's not going anyplace.
Mhm.
I just think it's a great opportunity. Now, one of the things that I'd like to share with everybody is we started this last October, and we got a little bit stressed because we felt that we might have a change of a presidency. And what I'm trying to say is that this program, if you're interested, you need to hurry up because this program may not be around soon. I mean, I'm just being very honest with you. This could be on the chopping block,
Mm.
but it
And
costs
why
you
do you,
nothing to find out.
yeah, and why do you say that, Stanley?
Well, I think that if you just listen to the president to be, he's made it perfectly clear that they're going to be cutting some programs. And
Hmm.
if you look historically, what's been cut are all social programs. This is a social program.
Right, right. And do you think that because when I heard you say that 3%, are people not really thinking 3% is is a lot? Because 3% to me is a lot when you say an increase at 3%.
Well, I mean, if you look at the last 10 years and a
Hmm.
taller, if there's somebody online who wants to correct me and you have facts, hey, please do so because I'm just generalizing. I know for a fact the last 10 years, my electricity bill has gone up 3% every year. So what I'm saying is in 10 years, my electricity bill has gone up 30%. Now, I've been retired for 15 years, so I pay attention to these things because I'm living on a fixed income.
Hmm.
Now,
Right.
let me tell you a reason why I'm not as worried as one might think. I bought solar panels about shoot, 6 years ago.
Hmm.
and the most I've ever paid is $120. Now, let me
Wow.
just share some general numbers for everybody. About 10 years ago, I changed my roof on my house to a metal roof. I live in an old house that's over 100 years old. It's not insulated. Even though it is insulated, it is not insulated, the walls and everything. 10 years ago, my peak electricity bill was $500 a month. When I put the metal roof on, my peak electric bill became 300 something a month. When I put the solar panels, the most I've ever paid is $126. Now, if you notice, last summer compared to 10 years ago, it's been hotter longer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
Yes.
I expect my electricity bill this month probably to be around 20 or $25.
Wow.
This same bill 10 years ago would have probably been $5 or $10. So that 3% every year, it's adding up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And I do know that people are really hurting financially. The ones that I know, the people that I talk to, knowing that we are paying high increased bills in our um, rentals, in the grocery store, in those areas that we cannot really do a whole lot about. But in this area, our electric bills, this is something that people can actually do something about.
Yeah. And again, I know I'm using myself as an example, but last summer, I live in, as I shared, I live in an old house that has a lot of trees. Well, last summer, I cut down two trees, two pine
Mm-hmm.
trees. And it was my intent to put some more panels up to try to get more solar power so I have to pay less electric bill. Well, as we all know, the Lord takes care of fools and little kids, and I have yet to grow up. Those trees would have fallen in this last storm because they were pine trees and they're not very heavily rooted. So probably within the next 6 or 7 months, I'm
Yes,
going to put some more
absolutely.
panels on my home.
Okay, so when you do put the panels up, when you just said more panels, that leads me into how do people know exactly how many panels do would you need on your roof? If there is there like an evaluation?
Well, what we
Is there
do is,
someone that you call that?
well, I'm
Go
the
ahead.
point
I'm
of
sorry.
contact, and what happens
Okay.
is that we talk. I'll give you some things that we look for. Like if your house is heavily surrounded by trees, you're not going to be a good candidate. Okay, you're not going to be a good candidate.
Mm,
Okay, if your house has an exposure to the west, you're going to be an outstanding candidate. So if you have an exposure to the west with no trees, you're going to be an outstanding. And what we're trying to do is get you off of, not get you off the grid, because then you would have to have a battery and all that. We're not doing all that, but we're trying to lessen your electricity bill. And so what we're going to do is you're going to put as many panels on your house as your roof can handle. Now, one of the things is you have to have a roof that's probably 10 years or less, because if it's older than that, and if it's not in good shape, then they can't put it on there. I mean, because then they're going to have to take them off to replace the roof in a period of time. So what we're looking for is exposure to the sun, a westward, a westward exposure, as well as the condition of your roof and your income
mhm.
by zip code. Those are the three things that we're going to look at.
Okay, sounds good. So if everyone's listening and if they're interested, we have a number of people that have come on the live, and there will be a number of people that come on after we are off the live. If you're interested, Florida Solar for All, the number is 813-404-6172. And you can call my friend Stanley and he can get you set up. I'm assuming there's an appointment that has to be made. There's probably an assessment that needs to be made as well before they can get started. And that's a good, really important part too, Stanley, is having no trees. So people know them before they call, and if they have all these trees around their home, we live in Florida. There's a lot of trees, a lot of pine trees, a lot of great pine trees. There's a lot of palm trees. There's a lot of pine trees as well. And it being exposed to the west, that's good information to know for those that are listening later that would like to call in and get a assessment or evaluation. Florida Solar for All, 813-404-6172. Dave, I have a couple questions here, Stanley. I think this is a good question. Why can't mobile homes get any, even on the ground area?
Well, I don't know where the, I don't know if, one second.
Okay, thank you. We're
I
gonna
had a
get that
dog that was
question.
talking to me. I'm sorry. I don't know
It's
whether,
okay.
I don't know whether, mobile homes, are not acceptable. So like, if you'd like me to find out, contact me and we'll find out. This costs you nothing to find out.
Okay, all right now. It costs you nothing to find out, and that's if you want to give Florida Solar for All a call and speak to Stanley Gray on that, 813-404-6172. And that's to my good friend Dave Coleman that is always on with us. And thank you so much, Dave, for that question. If anyone else has any questions, you can put it in the chat, or you can call Florida Solar for All and speak directly to Stanley Gray at 813-404-6172. Stanley, is there anything else you want to add to the conversation for our listeners so that they can get in touch with you going forward? We are in the new year and we want people to start out in a positive note, and we definitely want people to be able to save money going forward on their utility bills.
I want people to understand that this program, it not only installs as well as pays for the panels, and it also gives you a warranty. There are a lot of companies out who are advertising free panels, and people sign up, but then guess what? They didn't pay that sign up did not pay for the installation. And so there's a lot of
Wow.
negative going on around on solar power because they kind of fell for the hooky roof. This is the real deal. It pays for the installation, the solar panels themselves, as well as a warranty. And it costs you nothing to find out whether you're qualified or not.
Okay. It pays for the installation. What was the other two, Stanley?
The solar panels themselves, as well as the warranty.
And the warranty. And how long is the warranty for?
I think it's 20 years.
Wow, 20 years.
Yeah,
All
20
right.
years.
You all heard it first right here on TN Conversation Live with your host, Candy Lowe. If you all have any questions, you're welcome to call Florida Solar for All and speak directly to Stanley Gray at 813-404-6172. I know a lot of people, I know when I'm out in the neighborhoods and throughout the community, more and more people are going to solar. I do know that TICO is starting to increase the utility bills. They said that they were going to do it, and I know over the next several years they're just going to be an increase period. So we want to make sure you get on board with whatever way you can save on your utility bills. And you may want to try Florida Solar for All by giving Stanley Gray a call. All right now. Stanley, is there anything else you would like to add before we get off this afternoon? And thank you so much for joining me as well.
Well, thank you, but I'd like to leave with it costs you nothing to find out.
Yes. Costs you nothing to find out. Y'all heard it first right here on Tea and Conversation. Thank you so much, Iris, for jumping on. Thank you so much for Maurice for jumping on. And of course, Dave, thank you so much for jumping on. Please share the video and share it with your friends that may be interested in solar panels and solar on their roof. Make sure that they do not have trees around. And he did say the best position to be facing is the west. I got that down because my home faced the west. So that may be something that we need to do at our home is look into solar panels as well. All right, you all. Anything else, Stanley? We're gonna go ahead on and close. He said it does not cost you anything to get the information. Yeah,
Well, thank you very much, Candy, for letting me share this program with your audience. And I
absolutely.
wish
And I look,
everyone a belated Happy New Year.
yes, definitely happy New Year, and I look forward to chatting with you real soon. Thank you.
Be well.
All right, be well.